glad to be doing this. Let me just start by saying that 2 days ago, I discovered that 50% of codes on GitHub are actually AI generated. That brought fear to my heart because predicting the next 10 months to 1 year, every code on GitHub is going to be AI generated. Now, what is the risk of this AI generated data, AI generated code? We are moving gradually into self-supervised learning, where AI no longer takes permissions or rights from humans. Why? Because it now works on its own data. You might think of it that, okay, AI is now generating its own data. It's now learning by itself. It's no longer need human to learn anymore. This poses so much risk on us because the downside at the end of the day is that this data becomes so stale because we no longer collect feedbacks from humans. And the truth is, one of the strong edge we have with AI is that we as humans, we change. AI doesn't change. AI learns from past data to predict the future. So we change, we evolve into better versions of ourselves. So how do we want to keep this AI informed if the AI does not even have human data, but rather it relies on the data it generates from itself? I think it's high time we really need to start setting strict boundaries on AI. It's high time we, the public, start calling probably the GDPR or the EU AI Act to start taking strong decisions, because everyone seems to be distracted by what AI is doing around us. Because when we set strict boundaries on AI, it becomes very difficult for AI to go beyond a level where humans can't even control it anymore. And the truth about ethical AI or trustworthy AI is that for any AI system, it needs to be transparent, it needs to be accountable, it needs to be explainable, and it needs to be inclusive. So when we set boundaries for every AI system that exists and will still come up in the future to go through all these measures, it becomes very difficult for us to get to a time where we are left with the decisions AI have to make. I mean, imagine AI making a decision for me, and AI doesn't have my data. AI is using its own data to decide for me. How do we want to explain it in sensitive industries like finance, like education? So it is very essential for us to set strict boundaries. We need to know when to cut the line with AI tools, in training AI, in just interacting with it. Like I said, for every ethical AI there, for it to be safe to use, for it to continue to gain the public trust, it must be transparent, it must be accountable, it must be explainable, and it must be inclusive. When we are able to do all of these four, then we would have a better future that I myself can trust for. Thank you for having me.